Graybeard Gaming presents the Catfish Corner. I'm your host, Catfish. I'm in my zombie makeup, so that means it's time to review a Walking Dead episode. This episode was called Always Accountable. It was the 6th episode of the 6th season. And before we go any further, I want to put a little spoiler warning out there for everything Walking Dead up to tonight's episode, which was 606, Always Accountable, and comic number 147. It's time for Catfish's top 5 favorite things of the latest episode of The Walking Dead. Let's get right to it. My favorite zombie of the episode had to be the moss zombie that Daryl encountered when he was in the woods. It didn't top the sewer zombies last week, but it was a very good zombie. They get the skinniest of actors to play the zombie, and my God, they look like they're rotting away. Honorable mention to the RPG zombie. We'll get to that guy later. My favorite special effect had to be like the burned zombies and in the burned forest. All that stuff was cool. The skeletons. A shout out to the ambush and chase scene. All of the bullet holes in the windshield. I mean, that was intense. That was awesome. Sasha Abraham. Mother dick! Favorite scene. It was the opening pretty much of the episode. The ambush against Sasha, Daryl, and Abraham. All of a sudden, guys, who the hell are these guys? They have automatic weapons, so thinking it can't be the Wolves, it's got to be another group. The Saviors don't have bullets in the comic book, so I'm wondering who this could be. I think it might be just a short little villain to tide us over till Negan that isn't really going to matter. Kind of like Joe's group, I guess. Kind of like the Claimers, you know. Favorite performance, Norman Reedus. He was great this episode. That character went through so many different emotions this episode, from like relaxed and happy at the beginning, they were getting ready to head back to Alexandria, they'd gotten most of this herd away, to oh shit, I'm being attacked. He did the badass thing, he did the scared thing, just well-rounded performance from the man who plays Daryl Dixon, everybody's favorite redneck and emo. Favorite line of the episode had to come from Abraham. Loose ends make my ass itch. Great line. I'm going to give a special shout out to Grace Walker and the production design team. The burn forest was amazing. I have no idea how they did it. I'm recording Talking Dead. I'll have to watch it, see if it says on there. Just get online tomorrow and look. The director of the episode was Jeffrey J. January. The writer was Heather Belson. And our director of photography, as always, is the amazing Michael E. Satrazemis. Satrazemis, however you want to say it. Tomato, tomato. The whole episode, we're with Daryl, Abe, and Sasha. There's no one in Alexandria or Rick's group shown at all. So the episode starts out, and they're kind of picks up where they were. You know, Daryl's on his motorcycle. I'm just riding along, and you don't really know what's going to happen. I'm going to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible. So, of course, there was the ambush chase, and it leads Daryl to a burned forest. He runs into two girls. One of them's name's Tina, short blonde hair. The other one's got like long brunette with hair up in a ponytail. They're like, oh my God, don't hurt me. And they obviously think, you know, Daryl's somebody with this other group probably was just shooting at Daryl, Abe, and Sasha. And all of a sudden, some blonde dude, you know, this is the Comic Con trailer stuff, if you didn't know, like knocks Daryl in the back of the head, and he's got him tied up, and, you know, you don't say shit, that part, of course, from a different angle. They call, you know how every different group, you know, Botters, Walkers, Lane Brains, Rotters, well, this group calls them the Dead Ones. I thought that was cool. Just, you know, they keep coming up with original ideas to call zombies something other than zombies. So they're walking through this burned forest, and it's just awesome looking. And it turns out these three characters, Tina, and I never caught the other two's names. I think they were kind of like holding off on that for like comic spoilers maybe with names. Could be Ethan, could be Dwight, hell if I know. This group lit this forest on fire, and it drew all the zombies in, and they just burned to death in it. And they accidentally burned some people too, and they didn't know it. But it was to distract the zombies. I think it was in the very beginning. They went through it pretty fast, so I wasn't really sure. At first, I thought it was like some weird badass shit, like, this is our land, the burned land. You do not come across her, we will skin you alive, or something crazy like that. I thought it was going to be some really bad people. They're trying to get back to somewhere to get to Patty, I guess a friend. They eventually get there, and it looks like it's overrun with zombies, or just the Patty person is definitely not there. Right, and is a zombie maybe. And, you know, they're all, oh my goodness, hold on to this fence. And it kind of looked like the place that Daryl and Aaron were when the wolf surprise trap, but it wasn't, because the trucks were different. There were something fuel trucks instead of the bring the harvest home trucks. They're sitting there looking at Patty, their friend that could be a zombie, and then boom! Boom! Daryl Dixon springs into action. Don't try to be an outdoor cat, be an indoor cat. None sadder than that, like Joe said. Boom! He takes off with their shit. He's gone. Gone. The dude just like unloads the magazine out. So what the fuck are you doing, man? Don't waste like 8 shots at him. Daryl makes it to it. He's untying his hands with his teeth. He's got that bag of their shit. Gets his crossbow out just in time to kill the Moss Walker, favorite zombie of the episode. He finds it's like one of those thermos cooler type things that they transport hearts in. It's insulin. So the one chick definitely needs her insulin. So Daryl being Daryl, he's going to bring it back to him. Well, we cut to Sasha and Abe, and they're sitting there still at where they got ambushed by those guys, and they're still kind of talking about and trying to figure out what exactly happened. And they're like, well, there's no way people just shoot. And Abe's like, they had to be waiting on somebody to come through here. It was definitely a set-up attack, but they just attacked the wrong people. Of course, they were looking for the 3 people that Mr. Dixon ran. Abe and Sasha are going through this town. Abe keeps wanting to like bring zombies. And Sasha, you know, she's really relating to him because Sasha was at that dark place after Tyrese died not that long ago. And Abraham's just at wit's end, you know. He just kind of wants to die but doesn't. Well, I ain't gonna spoil nothing, but he finds a new outlook towards life. They're walking through this town, Abe and Sasha, and for a moment I'm thinking I see these brick buildings. Is this the same town that Glenn was in? But I don't think it is. I think they were in 2 totally different parts of the Washington, D.C. area, Georgia. Abe and Sasha, Abe wants to, just start killing things and go back to Alexandria. That's where Daryl would find them. Sasha's like, no. You know how you let a tracker find you? And she's like stepping in mud and walking around. At the end of the episode, Daryl does find them because of her leaving the tracks so he could find. Abe and Sasha are holed up in this, looks like what could be an old office building. And they're just waiting on Daryl to come and get them. And Abe's getting anxious. He doesn't want to wait. There's this zombie beating on like this glass window, which is in like the office, kind of like a conference room. And there's a really cool thing on the whiteboard that says, proud to have provided value. I pray for the world. Keep going. Stay cheerful. The bites kill. The guy became a zombie. And it was just the same thing Abraham was going through. He just needed a more positive outlook. Daryl brings back the insulin, of course. And as he's sitting there talking to him, the guy's like, well, we had you at gunpoint and we tied you up and you still bring this back? And he's kind of figuring out, Daryl Dixon's not one of these people that are looking for him, which he thinks they are. And all of a sudden, here comes this big, like, blue Ford truck thing, like, huge, coming through the forest, just knocking down trees. And it's the people that are looking for Tina and her 2 friends, unnamed friends. And I hear, I think the leader of them was named Wade, so it's not Negan, not yet. Jeffrey Dean Morgan ain't coming till the finale. You hear a couple lines of them. Only once the ones that are willing, they earn what they took. They yell at them, which is some weird stuff. A little Negan-ish, but it also reminded me of Beth and the hospital. You remember they always owed for something they took. So we go back to Abraham, and he's on this bridge, comes across this like military Humvee. And there's this zombie that must have gotten a wreck or something, and he's like impaled on this fence. But he's got the RPG, like the actual the rocket launcher, on him. And Abraham finds like all of these cigars, these Cuban cigars. So he goes down and lights them one up, and sees that they got all the grenades for the RPG rocket launcher in the Humvee. So he just needs the rocket launcher. So he gets on the thing and has like one of those Saving Private Ryan, is what I call them. Most like. It gets all quiet and weird. He's struggling with the zombie, and you think he's going to get bit. Then he just screams at the zombie, takes a step back, smokes a cigar. The zombie falls, the pole he's impaled on goes through his shoulder. Zombie falls off, and once you know it, the RPG is still standing there by its strap. So, funny how things worked out for Abraham. He goes back to where Sasha is, finds a military uniform, comes out there and he's dressed in it, it's a little too small, and here comes a big truck, and once you know it's Daryl Dixon to save the day. Wade and the people attack. Daryl is hiding with Tina, the blonde guy, and the brunette, and he sees this zombie that's like pinned on this rock, and it's a really cool zombie, really rotten looking. Wade and his people are looking for him, this guy named Ken's looking, and Daryl sees that zombie, so he like, hits some brushes, and the guy comes around, that zombie bites his arms. The guy starts freaking out, and that Wade guy comes over and chops the guy's arm off. So the guy won't become a zombie. But it never showed this guy's face, this Wade. So it got me thinking, could he be a wolf? Does he have a W on it? I'm really don't know. Is it half burned because he's a savior? Daryl picks up Abraham and Sasha in the fuel truck he found. which is awesome. They're going to have fuel, but it's got to be somebody's fuel truck they might steal back. They'll want that back. Well, all of a sudden Daryl was like, "Hey, Rick," on his radio, and you hear, it's like, what was that again? You hear, "Help." So was this Glenn? Ladies and gentlemen, could this have been Glenn Rhee radioing for help? I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who it was. Could it be a new character? Will Enid save Glenn? Who knows? Let's see. My rating for this episode, I'm going to give it a 8. It was a very solid episode. That first scene was awesome. Hadn't really had a shootout or chase scene on The Walking Dead in a little bit. I mean, it wasn't really a shootout when the wolves attacked. So it was cool. I guess the last big shootout was on the Too Far Gone episode. See, overall takeaway of this episode is just setting up something big for the mid-season finale. Abraham, Sasha, and Daryl are on the way back to Alexandria, so we should have the group all intact again. But how are they going to get into Alexandria with thousands of zombies around the perimeter? It'll be interesting to see. I did not see the preview for next week, but I'm positive it's got to be Dr. Ray Doom. Alright, my predictions for the rest of the season, it's hard to say. Up to the mid-season finale, I mean, we got 2 episodes left. So we heard the help on the line, on the radio. I'm guessing it's Glenn. Either Enid's going to save him, or maybe Paul Jesus Monroe from the Hilltop. Could be that too. We'll find out next week at 9 p.m. on AMC's The Walking Dead. This is Catfish here on the Catfish Corner for Graybeard Gaming. Reminding you to follow us on Twitter at the GBeard Gaming, like our Facebook page at the Graybeard Gaming, and comment, give us a thumbs up, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Graybeard Gaming. Until next time, this is Catfish saying, keep it tuned to Graybeard Gaming for everything that matters. Where's my phone? Where's my phone at?